Hello?
Hello, Sebastian. Thank you for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started with any questions. Please raise your hand, announce your name and your outlet, and we'll go ahead and get started. Charles, please start us off with a question for Sebastian.
Hey, Sebastian, this is Charles with MLSsoccer.com. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
Hey, good. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I wanted to ask you a little bit about Austin. I know there's a rivalry aspect to this game, and there's also kind of the storyline of who's in the playoffs this year. That they've kind of painted themselves as underdogs, I guess, or feel like they've been doubted by the media and played the no one believes in us card. And I just wanted to, what was your reaction to that? And then also, have you been on teams where that's been a theme, and why do we see that so much maybe at this time of year, this chip on the shoulder kind of mentality?
Wait, you said they said that?
Yeah. So they were.
No, sorry, I just wasn't aware. What do I think about that? I mean, I think they've done enough to be, respected. I don't think, I think they had a good year. I haven't played them this year. I haven't had the chance because obviously I was with New England for the majority of the year, but I did watch the games where Dallas and Austin played against each other, and I thought it was an honest battle. Two similar styles, two coaches who see the game very in a similar way, and I think that's what it's going to be, a chess match. I mean, that's probably the best way I can kind of describe it. But when you put that playoff intensity into it, it's just going to be another beast. So it's I don't know how they view themselves. It's obviously not my concern. My concern is how we approach the game, how much we're preparing for it and how we're preparing for it, and I'm confident that we'll be ready.
Just one quick follow-up. Do you guys think you're the underdogs, or do you feel like you're not getting the attention that you deserve?
To be very frankly honest, I have been on teams and things like that, but I've never been one to focus on that type of stuff. It doesn't really matter. Like, the only thing that matters is winning on Sunday, and whether we're the favorites or the under, you still got to get the job done. And that's kind of just how I view it. So I haven't even thought about it. It's just win on Sunday, and whatever people want to say, it doesn't really matter.
All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Charles. Let's go to Buzz, please.
Hi, Buzz Carrick, Third Degree. The last couple of games, it looks like Coach has been utilizing your versatility, moving you from wing to wing, or even I think there was a stretch where you were sort of as a 10 underneath last game. Right. How do you feel about that movement? Do you feel like it helps you? Does it hinder you? Do you prefer to be in a consistent spot? You think that's a tool that helps the team?
Yeah, I think I think previously in my career, I wouldn't say it's harmed me. I think there's been aspects where it's been a positive in a sense of my development and learning at what every position, whatever is required of every position, and what you need to do. But I think I'm at the point in my career where I kind of need to, and which I think I have been doing in this system, which is mastering, being in the midfield, like mastering that position. And I think Nico's done a great job of putting me there consistently. But I think when you see me kind of drift into different spots, it's more of what the game needs at that moment. And so I think it's all the skills and versatility that I've built up until now in my career that I think it does help. It does help, and I don't mind it. But I think starting games out, of course, you want to stay in one position, kind of grow into the game. But for example, like the other night, I thought it helped.
For almost anybody, breaking down a Minnesota style mid to low block is difficult. I think most people would anticipate that Austin is a more open team that wants to play, wants to spread the field out a little bit. They do press, of course, but it's different, very different than Minnesota. You think that Austin perhaps lends itself to you guys playing the way you natively like to play versus Minnesota?
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting point. I thought Minnesota played I'm going to be honest, a very good playoff game. They, coming here, packed stadium, didn't really give us much space in between lines that we're used to. And I think we struggled maybe more in the first half to find any sort of gaps, any, any patterns of play. And obviously it got a little bit better in the second half and extra time, but Austin's going to be a completely different game. And I think we know that. We just have to be careful. I mean, we're confident in our play. If you want to open the game up, I think we don't mind that, but we just have to be prepared for the other side as well. So, but it's going to be a fun one. I think that's what's going to make it such a good match.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, Buzz. Any more questions for Sebastian? Paul, go ahead, please. Sorry.
No.
I couldn't let you get out of here too quick.
I love being here. It's all good. It's all good.
No. I just wanted, this is Paul Livingston from WFA. I just wanted to ask you about, so both of you guys have come off of like high emotional penalty kick or penalty shootout wins. What is it like as a player, both mentally and physically, to kind of recover from those kind of games going into the next week of playoffs?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's wild. It's a wild experience. I would say that's something that we've been talking about in like between us players the last couple of days, was just not only the physical side, but just the emotional, the highs, the lows, the roller coaster that comes with being in these playoff games. Like, it honestly is really, really, it's draining, and so you do have to kind of really be mindful of how you recover, both emotionally and physically, and kind of do both at the same time as much as possible, and just be very mindful of that. I think it's not talked about enough, because there's so much emotion. I mean, just seeing the fans the other day, the support we got here, it's just like, it was just such a special moment for us. And now it just you got to turn it around, and you might have to do it all over again. And that's just, you got to accept that, and you put so much into the game, but you just got to be ready to just do it all over again.
And then quick follow-up, you mentioned that you weren't on the team, obviously, when the other times that they've played. Has anyone mentioned to you, what it's been like to play in these games, and what is your mindset going into your first, derby game with Austin?
Yeah, this will be, I mean, I'm used to the traffic go, and that's kind of been my biggest rivalry the last, since they've come into the league. And so I'm used to these type of games, to be honest. It's they're never easy. It's always such a battle. Again, I think soccer wise is going to be a really attractive game because of just the two styles. Are just, we love to play good soccer, both teams, and so they're going to have the fans on their side, and we might have our backs up against the wall a little bit, but I think if we do, we know what we can do. I think we can silence them. So
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And are there any more questions for Sebastian now? All right, looks like that'll do it. Thank you very much. Sorry, Sebastian. John Arnold jumped in at the last minute.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, don't worry.
I don't have my hand up. I'm just applauding. I'm applauding the session.
Legend.